Welcome to another episode of Gretchen's Garden and Greenhouse. Today is kind of a collection of items that need to be done. A garden doesn't always come in big projects. Sometimes it's just small things that need to be taken care of. As an example, what Gretchen's doing right now. Why don't you tell us what's happening, Gretchen?
Well, I'm deadheading some of these plants, probably for the last time. I might get more blooms, but I kind of doubt it. It's getting kind of late in the year.
So for those that don't know watching in, why do you deadhead?
Well, a lot of plants, with perennials, if you deadhead them after the blooms get spent, you can get a second blooming. For example, this particular plant here, I like to keep it deadheaded because it just keeps blooming as long as you keep these spent.
So that one is a dead one that you've already done. You cut it off, and you get more of the nice blue ones that we see.
And this is one that's getting ready.
That's one that's getting ready, and that's one that's already in the process. It'll get deadheaded next week sometime, probably.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about this tree over here, Gretchen, that we've got a...
Okay.
That's...
we got through the Arbor Foundation a bunch of little bare-rooted, they were like twigs about this big, year before last. And so I've been growing them in the greenhouse in a pot, and then this spring I planted them out. And this is dogwood, and I just have it tied up to keep it from flopping over. And it had a bunch of shoots coming out, and I trimmed that off because I don't want it to start having branches until it gets up about this high. So I'll keep all of the lateral branches trimmed.
My project today, while Gretchen's doing some deadheading, is to cut the last of the lavender out and move it into the greenhouse to dry, which we'll then use for lavender tea in the wintertime. So that's what I'm up to right now. I'll just put it in this bucket. And we'll put it on cookie sheets in the greenhouse, and that gets pretty warm in there, and it'll do a good job of dehydrating that. And then we'll remove it from the stems and use the seeds for our winter tea.
And our companion, of course, is here busily helping us.
I couldn't do it without her. I mean, it's just life. It's not possible if she's not helping. And another one of those, and I think you can kind of figure out how we go about cutting this stuff. After finishing the lavender, we're moving to the sage. And what we do with the sage is Gretchen and I grind our own sausage, and sage is one of the seasonings of sausage. And I am collecting these, and they'll be dried in the greenhouse, and we'll grind them into powder so that in the winter, when we grind sausage, we can mix the sage with the ground pork. So I'm just in here cutting some of these out. As you can see, we have lots and lots of sage. I mean, so one of these goes a long ways. And
just as a point of interest, this thing is huge, as you can see. And every year we cut it clear back to the ground.
Yep, right smack even with the ground, and it comes back just like this.
This is all new growth.
It doesn't take a lot to make enough season. We have enough seasoning for everybody in our audience. So if you want some, maybe you can work a deal out with Gretchen. You never know.
We have a little pear tree that was the last one left at the nursery several years ago. It's kind of misshapen and fallen over. It was like 50% off, so I thought, well, I'll rescue it. I let the limbs get too long, and it really produced this year, so I'm going to have to go in and do some shape trimming this year because you can see, for example, up here, one of the limbs broke. that limb shouldn't be there anyway. So what we look for is when the little spots on the pear start kind of turning brown, and then I take it and just kind of lift it up, and if it pops off like that, it's ready to harvest. So then you take some of them and put them in a cold, dark place to keep them. The ones that you want to ripen, you put in a windowsill and let them ripen. They don't ripen on the tree. So
we had our first pear this morning for breakfast, and it was very good.
yeah, so I think here's another one probably that's ready to go. If you remember, we have over our archway here winter jasmine, and I was trimming it out of the walkway day before yesterday and found a couple of limbs that had been on the ground and sprouted. So
they rooted themselves is what they did.
yes, they did. So I couldn't let them go, as you might recognize. So I've taken them and I trimmed off quite a bit of the stem and planted them in here.
Now they already had roots because they'd rooted themselves, and you just are salvaging them from...
Yeah, so hopefully they will get more roots and then they'll sprout, and we'll have a couple more of those that we can plant back
See how that goes. And those are the ones that is that archway that you're looking at right there going onto the patio.
Yes. I could have left them a little longer, but they were in a bad place, and if they die, they die, and if I want to root some more, I can. Look at the canna. It's got little seed pods on it. I forgot to deadhead it.
Before we put this video to bed and sign off together, I wanted to talk to you for a moment about last week. We used this device right here to peel, slice, and core apples. It has a suction cup on the bottom that we use to attach to the countertop. And it peels apples and cores them like crazy, as you saw in last week's video. We received a number of questions in its regard and where you get them and all that kind of stuff. What I'm going to do is post our Amazon affiliate link, which is where we got this one, off of Amazon. And just so you know, right up front, an affiliate link. If you make a sale by clicking on that link, if you purchase by clicking on that link, we'll get credit for it on our Amazon account, which means we get about 5 cents for every sale of this value right here. Are we getting rich? Not at all. But every little bit helps, and we appreciate, if you're going to get one of these, getting it through our affiliate link. If you're not, then that's fine too. It's for peeling apples, and the end result is about 20 of these guys. These are quarts of applesauce that we have canned over the last weeks using this device and, regular canning procedures.
Well, you can tell September's here because the garden is totally looking different now. We've got a lot of plants that have seeded out, or we've deadheaded them back. We've got lots of garden to harvest, and that's what we'll be doing for the next month or two, hopefully into October.
For sure. Now next week there will be no Gretchen's Garden and Greenhouse. We'll be in Branson, Missouri at a fly fishing, fly tying event. If you happen to be in the area, join us on East State Highway 76 at the Lions Event Center. That's in Branson, Missouri.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, that's correct. Everybody, thanks for joining us now. Bye now.